once game time comes, but right now we're working on that.
Florida baseball welcomes South Florida to Gainesville this evening. The Gators dropped 2 out of 3 to the now number 1 ranked Tennessee Vols at home over the weekend. Florida has won 26 of its last 31 games against USF. Game time is 6:30. In local collegiate sports, Jacksonville University Dolphins will travel to Tallahassee to take on Florida State this evening in a midweek battle. First pitch is scheduled for 6 p.m. UNF baseball travels this evening to play UCF at 6 p.m. in Orlando. At your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, I'm Sam Nelson.
At 10 o'clock, it's 80 degrees. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
With the 23rd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver, LSU.
Rush throws downfield, looking for Thomas again. He's got it, and LSU strikes back quickly.
This dude's no slouch now. He put up huge numbers, and most of it deep down the field, a true vertical weapon.
Daniels fires downfield, and coming back to make the catch is Thomas. Makes a man miss, and will score! A second lightning strike.
He's a guy that brings a skill set that we haven't necessarily had.
I believe Brian Thomas Jr. is very underrated. I think Brian Thomas Jr., if developed correctly, could turn out to be one of the receivers, one of the best receivers from this year's draft.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, morning. I didn't say good morning, did I? To everyone out there, and
you
that
had
kind
yourself
of day.
one. There's no doubt.
Had a start to the day, Tony. All I can say is, at least I'm not an Orlando Magic fan. At least I got that going for me. That's it. Flat tire on 95, and there were an epidemic of them today. Cars all over in the breakdown lane with their emergency lights on, whatever. So I hear something, when you got a stick you're dragging under your car, and it's kind of like it knocks up against the underside of your car, and that little rattling noise. Well, I'm driving down 95, and all of a sudden it starts making that noise. Well, there are no sticks on I-95 at this present time. So I'm like, well, it's not a stick. And then I hear, like, if you took, I don't know, like the same stick, and you whacked the back rear quarter panel of your car. Little kind of like a whack noise, not like a boom. I'm like, well, that didn't sound good.
No, yeah.
And so, fortunately, I was close to the exit there by the good old Popeyes at 210.
Yeah.
And pulled over, and another guy pulled in 2 minutes later. He goes, you got a flat too? I just got a flat on 95. He goes, guys got flats all over the place, so I don't know what's going on.
Something
out there.
happened on the road that they didn't clear up.
Something, right? Like there was a lot of debris out there, like little, small debris. But it looked like about 1.5 inch gash in my tire. Like somebody stabbed it with a knife. Now, clearly they didn't, or I wouldn't have been able to make it halfway to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or figure out what fell out of somebody's car and whose car it was.
Maybe.
And my goodness.
I don't know. But, and like I've changed, 24 tires, whatever, man. We've all changed tires when we have to. These freaking lug nuts, Tony, are like crazy glued on there, right? I mean, I'm just like, and my hands, my grip strength isn't what it used to be, right? Hit too many golf balls, I am probably doing damage to the tendons and ligaments in my hands, truly, right? Like, I'm like, I can't, I'm like, that's it. I got USAA roadside assistance. No problem. They'll be here lickety-split, right? So you go to their thing. You can't put in your number, or your social security number. All right, please put in your number, or so, this whole deal, right? So then I'm screaming at the thing, give me a person or whatever. I finally get person on the line, and they're like, okay, we're going to send you a link, and you fill out that link, and boom, and then we'll dispatch somebody to you. So I fill out the link. It says someone will contact you shortly. And immediately, they call me. In the link, it's got questions like, what are your name? What is your name? What is this? What is that?
All the stuff you've already answered.
I say, okay, hey, who am I speaking with? I said, Mike Dempsey. Okay, you got to know who you're calling. Is this a good number to reach you at? a live person asking me this as I'm speaking to them. And I said to her, and I know this person is got the dispatch in her hand, but I'm like, you did call me on it. And it is the number I put in your app 30 seconds ago. So yes, this is a good number to reach me at. And it continued along those lines. Like, are you in a safe place? You asked me that on the app. I said yes then. I mean, what changed in 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Then why am I filling out the app?
Uh-huh.
And they ask every question that's in the app. They go through the whole list. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. She's very nice, right? I'm sure it's her job. She's told to go through the checklist of things, right? So I'm not mad at that person. I'm mad at the process. And so, okay, we will dispatch you. Now, you know 210 and 95, right?
Yeah.
All kinds of things over there.
Oh, there's a lot.
I
Yeah.
could have taken it to Pep Boys if I wanted to, right? There's a Pep Boys right there and pulled in and got a tire done. But I'm thinking, roadside assistance, I can't get these things off. Come on out here. And so I look, and they give you, it's like a little Uber map, with the little vehicle. Here it comes.
Showing you where they are, yeah.
Right over there in Orange Park. What?
Oh, yeah.
In Orange Park?
Yeah.
What? And so it goes 45 to 75 minutes. Okay, well, that ain't going to work.
No, that's convenient.
It's not going to work. So then, but then it started to come down. It comes down to like 37 minutes, and I'm looking at the icon of the vehicle. Hasn't moved. Like, are they just trying to make me feel better? Like, whatever. Then it goes up pockets. It started going up. So then it was like getting to be like an hour on the short end. So I'm like, that's it. If I have no grip strength left, I will get these lug nuts off, baby.
Yeah,
and they came off.
I'm not going to make this kind of recommendation for you to watch it today necessarily, right? But I know you and I are both It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fans.
Yes.
Right? Like, we both really enjoy the show.
I do. I love that show.
And the season finale last year was Dennis basically being in not a flat tire situation, but in that kind of situation where he was just trying to get somebody to help him on a phone. It is
and you know me, I'm Mr. Patient, right? I'm Mr. Patient. I almost did a spit take because I can just imagine Dennis or anyone on that show.
Just on the road screaming at someone on the phone.
That show is so funny. But anyway, so big baby me finally got the lug nuts loose. And then, once you get the lug nuts loose, the spare tire goes on in 2 seconds. It's like bing, bang, pull it all, put it on, let's go, tighten them up.
Oh, yeah.
Did I tighten them up? Oh. Yeah, I did. All right. I just had to think for a second. So anyway, there's my story. It's amazing how much you sweat changing a tire, right? Like, you be outside, Tone. I'll hit a bucket of golf balls. I don't think I sweat as much as I did changing that tire this morning, man.
Oh, yeah. It's
Plus,
work.
It's the stress, too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the clock is ticking. Tick, 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 tick. Got to get to work. Tony and I are on the phone. Like, all this is going on. My wife's texting me, are you okay? And I'm like, honey, I love you, but at least I'm thinking this because I'm sure as heck not taking the time to text her back in that moment. Like, back off, woman.
Yeah, need a moment.
All right.
Just had somebody calling going down south on 95 by Ward Golf Village. He said, he saw 5 people with flat tires.
There you go.
So
that was it. It was the next exit up.
Yeah.
Where, it was between there and so be careful if you're out there, right? That good call, man.
Somebody dropped some nails or something.
Something. I'm telling you, bro.
Something happened, yeah.
Something happened because I saw 2 or 3 with their, and I'm like, that's a little odd, because they were fresh. Like, usually by the time, you're sitting there a while, like the road ranger comes along or something's there. And it was just, cars that just had pulled over. You could tell. They're just getting out of the car or whatever the case may be. So anyway, that's my little tale of woe for the day. It's okay. I'm all right. I'm still not an Orlando Magic fan. I'm doing fine. Did I tell you who my new favorite college basketball team is, by the way?
No.
I'll give you one guess. It starts with Villanova. All right, well, let's just leave it at that and move on. All right, good morning, everyone. Now it's good morning. I got it off my chest. Sometimes you just got to vent a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Happy Tuesday to you. How was your morning, by the way?
Mine's been good.
Yeah? You have a nice bowl
it feels like a breeze compared to what you're dealing with. Yeah.
I bet it was. All right, today we're going to look at our Tuesday top 5. As things stand today, which 5 positions on the Jacksonville Jaguars roster do you feel the best about? And I was trying to be snarky with somebody. Truly, I know I'm snarky quite a bit, but I really wasn't trying to be yesterday when somebody said O-line. And I'm like, that's a position group. And you got to break it down a little bit more specific than that. Like, D-end is a position group as well, but, like, they kind of flip-flop sides and things like that. So I'll allow that. Like, I would even allow offensive tackle if you wanted to go that way. I just think offensive line is too big of a thing. Although, I got to say, I'm happy that somebody thought that the offensive line was one of the top 5 strengths of the team, right?
Yeah.
Way to go bulky, right? Way to stack this team with just hay bale throwers out there.
No doubt.
Country strong is what we are, Tone. So we got that going on today. We had over 1,700 votes in the question of the day voting yesterday. So we'll recap that one that you guys weighed in on quite a bit, and it came down to the wire asking you which draft pick that we gave you a choice of from last year's draft will ultimately provide the most value for the Jags. Pockets, tell me something good this morning to put me in a continuing good mood. I do feel better having got it off my chest, but what's good?
What's good today? We got a regional track meet at UNF. We're the ones seeing the 4x1, so hopefully we can do something.
Are you expected to do something?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're
going
to?
I mean, the top 2 I'll automatically advance the state, so I think that's what we're going to do today.
Oh, hopefully. You do? Excellent.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the good news.
Good luck. Anybody? You don't want to shout out. Good luck to the whole crew. So how many events are you guys competing in?
We got like 15 boys and girls competing today.
All right, awesome.
Across a couple of events.
Cool. Yeah.
Now, are there a bunch of high schools from the area competing in
it's
this?
the whole region. Anybody from the Panhandle down to Gainesville.
Really?
Yeah, so this is
biggie.
Core of the state.
All right, well, good luck to all the Jacksonville and Northeast Florida area youth
no doubt.
Going out there, Tone. I wish I had the knees to run some track. I was never really fast. I could have probably been a cross-country runner because I was like that guy who didn't mind punishing himself. You know what I mean? Like I did have like a just kind of like an angry endurance about me. Like I'll show you how much pain I can endure here as I go around the track one more time.
Oh, yeah.
Not my cup of tea going fast.
No, I was never all that fast either.
All right, so let's save the countdown to the next segment. Okay, now that you've heard my tale of woe from the I think it's a mobile station is what it is over there. If you want to get in today, we'd love to hear from you. Talk Jaguar football with us, 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, or hit us up on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
I'm just sorry we're in this situation.
Thank you. Who is that? Who is that? Should I know that?
Like
Urban Miller.
Oh, is that an Urban Miller?
Herbs, yeah.
I'm just sorry we're in this situation.
So were we. But we're out of it now, Herbs. You know what? And, now that does put me in a little bit better mood, Tony. We don't have that guy around anymore.
No, he's
so
gone.
There's that.
Yep.
Whatever you think of Doug Peterson, I think most people like Doug Peterson. Some are like, hey, I need to see more. Whatever. You don't have that guy around. All right.
I agree with Urban.
No. You also root for the Magic, so stop it. All right. There you go. Your Tuesday top 5. Which 5 positions on the roster do you feel the best about? You can define that how you would like. And, yes, punter is a position if that's the way you want to go. I'm probably leaving the specialists out of it myself, but you don't have to.
I am. Yeah,
You're
no
leaving them out?
on my list.
Okay. Because, I don't know. You should feel good about Devin Duvernay in the return game.
Yeah.
But
and it's not that I don't think they're pretty good at punter.
They're great at punter.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
they're very good.
They're very comfortable at that position, obviously, but it's punter, kicker, long snapper. They got an all-pro at long snapper right on the football team. It's not that I don't think they're pretty good at punter and long snapper specifically and that I don't feel good about Duvernay. It's special team stuff, right? It's too specialist for me to have it on my list necessarily.
But it's 1/3 of the team, Tony.
It is that.
Well, it's one of 3 units. I don't know if it's an equal 1/3 of the team. Maybe it is. Who knows? Anyway, we got a lot to get into today, so come be a part of it. You know the ways to do that. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you on this Tuesday morning on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today Tuesday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dreamfinders Homes
from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
Jaguar football starts here.
Hey, we got a good win today, man. All I want to hear is Duval.
1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Come in, Linda. Over.
We've got a sea of new vehicles and they're priced so low they're rocking the boat.
Come check out our biggest selection of inventory with the best prices and our wow ya experience that will ensure smooth sailing for your next car purchase. Plus, take advantage of our peace of mind warranties, transparent pricing, and free oil changes with every purchase. You better beat the surge and head to Beaver Toyota St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville for the best car buying experience.
Test your aim to help local kids succeed. It's the 6th annual Mackenzie Noel Wilson Foundation Clay Shoot to support the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida and Mackenzie's Camp Deep Pond, Thursday, May 30th at Jack's Clay Target Sports. Get your team and the Boys and Girls Club take care of the rest. Ammo, cart, clays, breakfast bites, lunch, and goodies. Proceeds benefit 56 area clubs serving over 5,200 area kids every day. Go to bgcnf.org/events.
Make sure your roof is ready for the next Florida storm by scheduling a free roof inspection with Universal Roof and Contracting. And right now, get 15% off your roof repairs and replacements, plus flexible financing. This offer expires May 31st and restrictions apply. Ensure peace of mind before the next storm hits. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com to schedule your free roof inspection. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Your cooling system isn't working. Maybe somebody showed up with a portable electronic device. Then they discussed with you what your options are. Maybe they gave you an estimate that seems like an awful lot of money. What's the smart thing to do? When the situation merits a second opinion, get a Mike Merritt opinion. Yes, the Mike Merritt Comfort Team shows up with hand tools. We've never been able to fix an air conditioning problem with a tablet. Mike Merritt has been the trusted name for more than 30 years because there's never any hocus pocus. The Merritt team will walk you through the diagnostic steps up close and personal and show you exactly what you need. And the Mike Merritt price is likely to be far less because there's never an overtime charge, and the Merritt team doesn't work on commission. So remember, when it comes to the health of your cooling system, a second opinion can only help, and a Mike Merritt opinion can save you money. Florida license CACO 50384.
Hey, Scarline here. Tired of missing out on the conversation due to hearing loss? At Jacksonville Hearing and Balance, their team of audiologists led by Dr. Douglas Green can help you rediscover the joy of connection. Visit jhbi.org today.
Mother's Day seems to sneak up on us. 1010XL helps you say thanks with gift ideas from
Beaches Dermatology, Sawgrass Marriott Spa, and Kuhn Flowers.
Go to 1010XL.com at your convenience.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From Roll and Lock bed covers to Lear toppers to Cam Locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
Mother's Day is right around the corner this year. Give your mother a gift that keeps on giving. How about a zero-resified kitchen? Hey, Hicken here. There's nothing my wife loves more than having Zero Res do a deep clean on the kitchen. Towel and grout. She also loves the look and feel of the granite countertops after Zero Res cleans and seals them. They really pop. Right now, Zero Res offering $50 off towel and grout cleaning and $50 off granite countertops cleaned and sealed. Zero Res, man, you spell it forward. Zero Res, you spell it back. It's the right way to clean.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. We've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler for 47 years. And this Mother's Day, we'd like to help you celebrate Mom with up to 40% off our entire inventory. GIA certified diamonds, beautiful colored gemstones, designer brands, custom jewelry design. And Monahan Jewelers offers interest-free financing on any purchase. So get something special with a payment you can afford. Come celebrate Mom with fine jewelry at up to 40% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Man, don't let your yard be torn up by that heavy aeration machine this spring. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to learn more about our granular aeration. Broadcast throughout the tree and shrubs to break up that compacted soil. Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
Parents, now is the time to sign up your kids for the best basketball camp in the 904. Tommy Houlihan's basketball camp in Jacks Beach. 2 sessions now open and ready for registration. 1 week in June, 1 week in July. Tommy Houlihan also has an all-sports camp as well. Grades K through 6 are allowed. and camp runs all day with extended hours available. Keep your kids active this summer with Tommy Houlihan basketball programs in all sports camps. Register today at TommyHoulihanBasketball.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, as always with the Jaguars Today question of the day presented by Chad and Sandy Real Estate, there are no wrong answers, just potentially dumb ones. Okay, so keep that in mind. But in all seriousness, these are the positions you feel the best about that we'll be talking about today. So that's up to you. I can't tell you what you feel the best about, but I can define what the positions are. Let's break them down a little bit beyond the groups, but I think most people who have submitted their thoughts on this have done that so far today. All right, let's look back, Tone. This is a lot for a poll in the month of May. You know, pull down 1,000's a decent amount, right? Because most people vote during the course of the show.
Yeah.
And this one, people kept going all day long, and we asked which of these 2023 draft picks will ultimately provide the most value for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you and I went, what do we go? Bigsby, Hodges,
Strange
Miller in that order, right?
Yeah.
And we ended up at the same order at the top. So Bigsby would be our pick. Cooper Hodges won the poll 30% on the nose. Okay, 29.4% for Tank Bigsby. That's pretty close. 22.7% for Brenton Strange. And Ventrell Miller, who was hovering around like 14.5% all day, made a run, almost got up to 18% of the vote as the day went on. So you could interpret this in a number of ways. There's no one surefire guy that everybody has the confidence is going to provide X to you. Or you can also say, hey, you know what? There's a case to be made for all of these guys, at least a 1 in 5 chance that any of these guys could be the guy that we're talking about. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it can't be Ventrell Miller, right? I mean, if Ventrell Miller is 100% healthy and stays that way, now that's a big if. But say that about Brenton Strange or Tank Bigsby or Cooper Hodges as well, right? Cooper Hodges missed the whole year due to injury, right?
Certainly did, yeah.
And he won the poll. So in some ways, those guys are more enticing, right? Because you don't know yet. It's the
you haven't seen them at all.
The optimism of the unknown, kind of.
Yeah.
You anticipate it'll be good.
Cooper's a local kid, as we talked about yesterday when we were discussing it, and he was the guy who's doing all the gymnastics, right? Like there are reasons that the fan base has been, can't wait till we get Cooper on the field. Like it's been that way since they saw him doing what he was doing in the scrimmage last year on the field here in Jacksonville, right? Like it's been one of those stories that Cooper could be that guy. Is this going to be the next 7th round pick? Could this guy potentially be a starting guard for us at some point? I think and that poll shows it, there's a big portion of the fan base that is at least still holding out hope that Cooper Hodges is going to be that level of player.
That's almost more than hope.
Yeah, I would say 7th round on a position like that, I can understand the optimism. Right? Like, you don't have to draft the guy in the 1st round for him to be a competent guard for you for any period of time.
True. And we did ask value, too, which can reflect the fact that you're taken in the 7th round compared to the 2nd round. And some people said that. And then you can look at it that way, or you could say, look, they're here now.
Yep.
Who's going to give you the most contribution over going forward, remaining
over
part
the
of their
rookie
career?
Deal. Yeah.
Over the rookie deal or
however
who you anticipate, staying around beyond their rookie deal. Or you could, as some people point out, hey, I think Cooper Hodges because the bar is lower. And some people said, look, I've seen a glimpse of the 2nd and 3rd round picks, and I'm not all that impressed. And look, wasn't that impressive a rookie season for either one of them?
No.
I still believe they have talent, but that's the case of almost everyone that comes in the league. Right? Rare do they miss on guys that much. I mean, sure, there's a place for Tank Bigsby in this league. I'm sure Tank Bigsby could probably start in the league due to the nature of the position if the circumstances fell in his favor.
Yeah.
You could say that about a lot of running backs, a lot of backup running backs that never got the opportunity.
Yeah, not that he's ever going to win the starting job here in Jacksonville.
Not over
as long
ETN.
as ETN's here,
Right.
Right? But is there a scenario where after next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, well, let's say 3 years from now, considering the fifth-year option's been picked up, that ETN is gone and Bigsby is the starting running back for a year? Like, that's not crazy.
And if he does well, maybe he sign. Could it be a situation like you're going into the season, all right, Tank Bigsby, you're going to be our starter. Last year, your rookie deal. We'd like to sign you to like a 2-year extension, but not top of the market money here we're talking about either. Like, kind of like they did with MJD, right? Like, MJD wasn't the guy until he was the guy. And he signed that extension, and the Jags took a chance that he'd be able to handle the full workload, as opposed to being the 2 to Fred Taylor's 1.
And he did all right with
and
it.
He did fantastic with it. But, an MJD probably took less than he might have gotten at that time on the open market. But at the same time, it's bird in hand. Hey, a lot of things can happen between now and then. What if I get hurt and I don't get the opportunity to show what I've got? So who knows? That's so far down the road that I don't think any Jaguar fan is really all that concerned with it. Will running back show up? It's shown up today in a number of people's lists of the positions they're the most confident in. Why don't we begin the countdown?
Number 5.
El Paquito, Mr. Pockets.
All right, Michael. Let me go tight end at number 5. This kind of had to do with – I almost went running back, but I went tight end just because Evan Ingram is one of the best at his position. And also, if you look at what Doug Peterson's done the last couple of years with tight end when he was with Philly and in Jacksonville so far, obviously you don't want this to happen, but if something happens to Evan Ingram where he has to miss a portion of the season or some time, miss a couple of games, I would still feel confident in the position because Doug Peterson knows how to use the tight end position regardless of who is playing the position.
All right. I actually, in shuffling around, you're putting together, you throw all the positions down and you're kind of mentally doing it, Tony. I compared tight end to running back as well and decided if either one is making my top 5, tight end would get in first because I think the starter is better than the other guy, right? And I think ETN is great, and maybe we would have felt differently a year ago, right, coming out of the 2022 season. But after 3-point-whatever yards carry for ETN and Evan Ingram setting franchise marks for tight ends last year, that's where I would have gone. But number 5 for me is actually wide receiver. That I feel, and this is a bit of a projection, but it's how I feel about the position. I think Christian Kirk is a super dependable, reliable option that Trevor Lawrence trusts. He knows how to get open. He'll make clutch catches. He can do a little bit of everything. He can play inside and outside, although I think they'd much prefer to have him line up on the inside. Now, we don't know what version of Gabe Davis exactly that we're getting, but I will say when the Jags signed Zay Jones, and I made this case last week, he was nowhere near as accomplished as Gabe Davis was. Now that he's coming in here.
Sure.
27 touchdowns in 4 years. He played with Josh Allen. Well, got a big-arm quarterback who's going to throw it down the field to him here. And he's not going to be the primary focus of other teams' pass defenses, in my opinion. Brian Thomas Jr. was, all throughout the process, one of the top guys on my list. At one point, he was the top guy probably on my list. He settled in my second favorite hoped-for outcome in the first round, and so I'm thrilled with him. I think all the talent is there. Will he be a number 1? I think he's got the potential, Tony. I think he's got the athletic ability, as long as he puts in the work. And beyond that, look, are they great at 4, 5, 6? They've got some developmental guys, and if you had a spate of injuries, you could be in trouble potentially if 2 of your 3 starters, but you could probably say that at almost any position.
Yeah, that's just football.
That's football, right? So I feel good about that trio. I think Devin Duvernay could give you a little bit. Parker Washington to develop. Let's see if any of these young guys like Elijah Cooks can stick around and make a dent other than just be kind of like off-season teases. But this is really about the big 3 guys for me, so I have wide receiver at 5.
All right. For me at number 5, I don't know whether the in vogue term for it is off-ball or inside linebacker. I'm not sure how people describe it anymore, right? But inside linebacker, Foye Oluokun, Devin Lloyd, Chad Muma, Ventrell Miller. Like, that is a pretty solid depth chart for one position, right? And I did want to split it between now, are they defensive ends? You know?
Well, I think that they're just outside linebackers.
Right? Are they outside linebackers or are they defensive ends in a 4-3?
I look now, and which one are you talking about? You're talking about the, like,
I'm
Trayvon
talking about Trayvon and Josh.
They're
like, how
defensive
are they
ends to me.
Right. Like, that's how I would categorize them. So I was trying to figure out how do I specifically talk about that kind of when they got two on the field. Who are the guys that I feel really good about as the two on the field?
That's inside linebacker,
right.
Then. If they're running like a 3-4 look.
Right. So, and I think they have 4 guys that they might feel pretty good about, right? If any of them had to be on the field for anywhere, kind of the same kind of argument making at wide receiver. I feel really good about the top end of the depth chart with Aluakin and Devin Lloyd, and I feel okay if Muma has to play. We'll see what happens with Miller. We just haven't seen it yet, but I like what we know about him. Even if I never would have made that pick, I like what we know about him. It still affects the depth chart that they have at that particular position. That was enough to go to number 5 for me.
All right, so number 5 for you is inside linebacker. Dylan goes with tight end. I'm going wide receiver. These are the positions that we feel the best about currently on the Jacksonville Jaguars roster. Will Trevor Lawrence show up today is a question as well. It depends on how you feel about Trevor Lawrence and everything else. So we'll continue the countdown throughout the show today. You are invited to be a part of the discussion, or it doesn't have to be necessarily on this particular top 5. Anything Jaguar football related and relevant at the moment is always welcome at 641-1010 on the All Pro Roofing phone lines. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark will continue the countdown straight ahead on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Well, I gave them a little boost this morning with a little unplanned exercise right before I came into work. But, that's one of the things with Awaken 180. The weight loss process does not require you to get out there and hit the gym every day or go walking in the oppressive Florida heat like I do sometimes or do any kind of exercise. Exercise is great. It's always a healthy addition to any weight loss plan. But it's not required for Awaken 180. They're going to teach you how to eat, what to eat, when to eat, and they're going to turn your body into a beautiful fat-burning machine. And I mean beautiful because those pounds that you don't want are going to fall right off. Maybe you need to lose 10. Maybe you need to lose 25. Maybe it's 70. Maybe it's 150. You can do it with Awaken 180. It's not going to happen overnight, but you will find yourself losing 4 to 5 pounds a week, guaranteed. Call 844-346-1800 to become the next Awaken 180 weight loss success story. Join me, Matt Hayes, and Hacker in dropping those pounds. Go online to awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL Jaguars Today Tuesday is brought to you by Dream Finders Homes. Homes built to fit your lifestyle.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
Slow your scroll.
Calm down, sit down.
Follow 1010XL on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram by searching 1010XL.
Break free from the old school hassle at All Pro Roofing. They've revolutionized the game. And guess what? No more pressure, hassle, or time meeting with someone face-to-face for a roof quote. Unlock the power of an instant roof quote right from the comfort of your home. Get the information you need when you need it. Explore your roofing options today. Head over to allproofingllc.com. Hit that instant roof quote tab for a free instant roof quote. allproofingllc.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138. It's Kubota Orange Days, your golden chance to score a deal that will make your neighbors green with envy. Shop the year's best selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And get the year's best deals, like 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,300 off L3302 tractors. Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
Coastal Equipment. Hon, why is our lawn so stinky and muddy over there?
Where the septic tank is?
Oh, no. Yuck.
Septic alert, septic alert. Time for a spring septic clean? Call Duck Duck Rooter before the deal ends. Just $525 to keep your septic alive. For $525, Duck Duck Rooter will pump out your septic tank, clean your outlet filter, plus send a plumber to provide drain cleaning to your main sewer line. Call now to book 904-862-6769. DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Homeowners and investors, the choice of title company is yours. When making that decision, choose the team of St. John's Title, LLC. As board-certified expert attorney-owned firm with decades of experience, we provide the utmost in precision and professionalism. Conveniently located offices and in-home remote closing options, we serve your needs. Whether refinancing or selling your property, our customer-first approach is tailor-made to your timeline. With a seasoned team of experts and 5-star testimonials from customers across the First Coast, call or visit St. John's Title today.
Big Chief Tire guarantees quality service at every visit. Frank Ramsey here. Right now, take $50 off a new set of tires to stay worry-free on the road. Plus, with Big Chief's Tire Protection Plan, you can enjoy free tire repairs and replacements for up to 3 years. Don't let worn-out tires slow you down. Stop by Big Chief and experience the difference today. Visit BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment for one of their 5 locations. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
I open the door and take you inside the locker room to get you closer to the field, the players and coaches you care about.
Get a look at Hayes' blog on 1010XL.com.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reich Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Yeah!
Now more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
I'm going to self-censor for once here, Tony. Interesting little story about Urban Meyer that really, I don't know if it would change anybody's opinion one way or the other, that somebody texted in. I don't doubt that it's true. You know, like, we beat him up enough. I don't think he's a good guy. Mm-hmm. Let's leave it at that, right?
Sure.
I think we all saw it on display that he's not a good guy. So this story that somebody texted to us dovetails with that perfectly. And I agree, or I believe you.
I can't swear to the efficacy of that person's story.
That's all I'm saying.
But it doesn't surprise me that it would happen.
If it happened exactly that way, I'd be like, yep.
Yeah.
Sounds like Urban, right? I mean, but I will leave it at that. Mm-hmm. So you can fill in the blanks in your own mind, and it might be even more salacious or terrible, you know, or maybe not. I don't know.
Who knows?
It's up to you, really. What else here? A lot of people love them. Some It Was Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yes. This one. If the Jags, is special teams a third of the team when the kicker wins the game? If they don't have good special teams, we definitely wouldn't be talking about it like it's a flaw, not like it doesn't matter. No one's saying it doesn't matter.
No.
I'm just saying it doesn't matter equally. Sorry, it's 1/3 of the team, but, tell me then, Tone, why, all right, I want to draft a kicker. He's best kicker in the country. 4th round, about the earliest you see that happen.
Yeah.
Maybe 5th. I mean, if it was as important, you'd be seeing gunners taken in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see return specialists. People are dabbling because of the new rules. But, I mean, look, nobody's saying it's not important.
No.
But if I could give you the best kicker, if I can give you Justin Tucker at the beginning of his career, right now, or Josh Allen or Trevor Lawrence, you're crazy if you take Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
Sorry, you are. How many Super Bowls has he won? Is it one? Maybe? Did the Ravens win one when he was there?
Maybe. Has he been there that long?
I don't know if they have. But either way, even if he did, it wasn't just because, and we're talking about the best guy at the position. It's just not as important. Nobody's going to trade their quarterback for Justin Tucker.
Yeah, he did win a Super Bowl.
Okay, unless he's an absolutely horrible quarterback. You know what I'm saying. So,
No,
yes,
look,
special teams are important.
We've had these kind of discussions plenty of times where it felt legitimate to have 1 or 2 special teams players, right, on your list of who are the top 5 Jaguars right now. And it's like, well, Scobie's on there somewhere, right? Like, that's how bad the teams were at that time. And it's not a knock on Scobie. It's that we can't find enough good players to talk about that Scobie doesn't belong on this list, right? And I think the Jags they've won 9 games in back-to-back years. The team is not terrible. It's pretty good right now from even a league perspective. It's pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good right now. So if you're asking me what positions do I feel best about, special teams guys just aren't going to come to mind. There was a time when they would.
Right, and unfortunately.
Right, but now not so much.
Right, nobody's – look, again, all phases matter, and yes, you missed that kick. It's important, but you know what you do? You cut that guy and you go sign the next guy off the street.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the thing with kicking, right? Josh Lambo, bum until he gets here, fantastic, then he's a bum again, right? And I'm seriously, right? Jason Myers, bum, goes somewhere else, Pro Bowler.
Yes, he is.
Multi-time Pro Bowler, I think. That's the nature of the spot.
No doubt about it.
It is important to have good players on special teams. Not saying that. We just don't think it's at the same level. That's all. All right, why don't we jump in with number 4 in the countdown?
Number 4.
All right, see, I do have Trevor Lawrence in my top 5, Tony. I have the quarterback position at number 4 for me. This is me. Again, why do I feel better about quarterback than I do wide receiver? Well, only one of the top 3 wide receivers has ever caught a ball for this team. Only 2 of them have caught a ball in the National Football League. I do feel that Trevor Lawrence isn't the best at his position, but I feel like I'd rather have him than Josh Allen on this football team, right? That doesn't mean I feel as good about his level of play. It's the importance of the position. I think they have a guy as their starter who can do everything that is necessary for this team to play championship-level football. Now, will he? I don't know. But not every team ever even gets that guy who potentially can be what I think Trevor Lawrence can be. And he's been pretty good as well. Not great. A lot of room for improvement, all that. You add Mac Jones, former first-round pick. Now you feel a little bit better about your depth chart. Not that, hey, C.J. Beathard can, beat the Carolina Panthers. We're going to roll out an injured Trevor Lawrence for the second half of the season because we really think that's a better option with no practice than the guy we currently have. Maybe they won't feel that way about Mac Jones. Maybe they still will. And if Trevor can play, let him play, so be it. But I feel the depth chart is stronger, and I'm counting on Trevor to take a big step forward. And for me, I feel this is a good spot for a quarterback to come in. So number 4 for you.
Number 4 for me, offensive tackle.
Okay.
Cam Robinson, Anton Harrison, Walker Little, Javon Foster. And we haven't seen Foster play yet, but I think all 4 of those guys are capable of being starters in the National Football League. And when you have a depth chart at that position specifically, that you have 4 guys that can play right at that spot, I think you're doing pretty well on a depth chart. It's not that I think any of these guys are necessarily top of the line offensive tackles in the league, but I think they got 4 guys that can play the position and hopefully not get in your way. I think you can say that pretty safely with the first 3 on that list, right? Even Walker Little, it's not getting in your way when he's having to be on the field. Javon Foster, we'll find out, but I feel really good about him going into his rookie year. So for me, that was enough to get offensive tackle to 4.
Played a lot of high-level football in the SEC, and it was the first team all-SEC left tackle that, again, doesn't guarantee him anything. But I'd rather that than go like the 6th team left tackle. I mean, still, it doesn't guarantee a success, but it's an indicator that
there could be success.
There could be that. So I like that. All right, offensive tackle, pockets.
Number 4, the same reason Tony explained for offensive tackle. That's what I put for safety. Dewey, Cisco, Savage, Daniel Thomas. A lot of depth. A lot of guys that you can trust at that position. Not high end, like Tony said, for offensive tackle, but guys that you can trust and you can move around at the safety position.
That's fair.
I think Savage can play that a little bit too if they needed him to.
Yeah, he mentioned Savage. Savage did play safety.
Yeah. They do have 4 or 5 guys at safety that can do it.
They do. I didn't feel as strongly about this group. I do feel like it's depth, but I don't know about the high-end playmaking yet. Now we're projecting with a lot of these guys.
We haven't seen what we thought we would from Cisco yet.
No, and it's been a few years, right? So does he potentially have that? Yeah, potentially. Rayshon's probably been the best safety on this team the last couple of years, and he's gone, and we're excited about the potential of Antonio Johnson, but that's what it is. And granted, I had wide receiver in there. We haven't seen Brian Thomas play a snap in the National Football League, so there's no issue with you projecting what these guys might do.
Not even thinking all that hard. Cisco's got 7 interceptions the last 2 years.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, he had 3 the first year he got to play in 2022, and he had 4 last year in 15 games.
It's not bad.
Right? So he's actually probably been more productive than he has been in my mind, to this point in time. And he is a physical enforcer, right? They're on the back. He's the guy who knocked Anthony Richardson out. He does have that aspect to his game as well, to the point that Kansas City Chiefs fans were willing to call him a dirty player for having clean hits.
That's right.
They just happen to be knockout blows.
You love that.
Right? That kind of thing. He does have that to his game. So I think Cisco is the closest thing to kind of that top, safety that they have on the team. I don't think he's getting that kind of talk yet. We'll see. He's going into a contract year for him. This is a big 2024 season for Andre Cisco. I thought about safety. I didn't put it in my 5, but I thought about it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, look, and I got no issue with anything you put in there because it's your list, and then what you feel about it. I just don't have quite the same high level of confidence in it. And when I say that's good, I don't mean it's good to have a dirty player. It's good to have the other team think you have a dirty player. Right, because then they're thinking about it. Then they're watching. They're peeking over their shoulder. When's he coming? They're and it's getting them off their game.
This is a dangerous place to be on the field when Cisco is playing safe.
And whether it's true or not, right? And and I don't think Andre Cisco's a dirty player at all.
I don't either.
Right, but to have another team feel that way is fantastic.
Doesn't bother me. Yeah.
Let them think about it. Anytime they're thinking about something like that, is a chance to take away. Now, obviously, it hasn't hurt Kansas City a whole lot. Whatever they've been thinking about has been fine for the last couple of years. But as a general rule, I'd still, how great was it back in the day? I mean, how many incompletions did Donovan Darius cause by reputation, potentially? I don't know what the answer to
More
that
than
is.
0.
More than 0, right. I don't know I have no way of knowing what the answer would be, but, you take a peek. Here he comes, or is he, or is he coming? And all of a sudden, you take your eye out the ball at the last second. All right, 6'4", 110-10. So I went wide receiver, quarterback. Dylan, you went. What was your first one? Tight end.
Tight end.
Okay, so you went tight end and safety, and Tony, you went
inside linebacker, or offensive tackle.
All right, so we got a bunch of different positions that we feel good about, I guess. Let's see how it plays out over the course of the rest of the show. If you want to get in, 6'4", 110-10 is the easiest way to do it. And, because I do feel like we have spent a lot of time talking about holes. What are your concerns? I do think this team has some decent depth. There's still going to be areas where I could feel good about quarterback. I still don't want to lose Trevor Lawrence and have Mac Jones have to play. Mac Jones is a guy who lost his job to Bailey Zappi.
Sure.
Who's currently, I think, 3rd or 4th. He did hold off Nathan Rourke. It appears he'll hold off Nathan Rourke in New England.
Yeah.
No better than 3rd on the depth chart there in New England. So, look, I hope Mac Jones, like anybody else, sometimes change the scenery, fresh start, clear the mind, come in, do your thing. But you got to show that on the practice field, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if Trevor Lawrence stays healthy this year and the Jags win 10 games, okay? And let's presume they make the playoffs. Wild card division, doesn't matter. They make the playoffs, advance or not. All right, so they're a 10-7 team. Let's say they get bounced in the wild card round. It was better than last year. Mm-hmm. Not a massive step forward, but Trevor Lawrence is playing, stays healthy. Mac Jones never gets to see the field. What is Mac Jones doing next offseason? Like, what is the market? Does someone out there go, I'll give this guy the opportunity to come in here for $10 million a year? Does he get a Gardner Minshew deal? What did Minshew get? Like 2 years, 15, something like that, I want to say?
Something like that, yeah.
Does he get a deal where, I mean, that for Mac Jones at this stage would probably be ideal, right? I mean, barring Trevor Lawrence missing time this year.
Someone being willing to give him a chance to compete for a starting job again anywhere would be
probably the top level you're looking at, right? Now, that changes if Trevor Lawrence misses time. Mac Jones comes in and let's say he goes 4-1 in a 5-week period and plays well doing it, right? Well, then who knows? Maybe it's still that's the top level that firmly gives you an invitation to a competition.
Yeah.
There aren't that many competitions anymore.
Yeah. Gardner Minshew by year, this is the cash he was getting each season. He got $686,000 his rookie year here.
Yeah.
$1.1 million his second year here. $850,000 his third year when he got traded to Philadelphia. $2.5 million in 2022 and $5.5 million with Indianapolis last year.
Okay, do they have? What did he sign with? I thought it was a 2-year 15 with the Raiders.
Let's see if I can find the current deal. 2 years 25.
Oh, 2 years 25. I had the number. Oh, 2 years
12.5. Yeah.
Is that how much of that's guaranteed? You know what I mean? Like what?
15 guaranteed.
15 guaranteed. Okay, maybe that was where I came up with that number. That's still that size contract. Says, all right, Aiden O'Connell, you did a couple of nice things for us. You helped us beat Kansas City last year in a game where I don't think you completed the pass in the second half.
Yeah, come on in, win the job. Someone's going to win the job.
But how many other quarterback battles are there in the NFL? I mean, Russell Wilson, I don't think, is in a battle with Justin Fields. I think they've anointed Russell Wilson the starter. I think he's going to need to fail for a period of time.
And Fields would have to excel.
Yes, either be showing it on the practice field or come in when given an opportunity and light things up. But, I mean, okay, maybe you got that. I mean,
that's kind of open, but it's not. It doesn't feel all that open.
New England is a competition, I think, to see who's going to start early.
Yes.
And I think Minnesota, like, early. But you know who the guy is.
They drafted a guy in the first round. That's
right. If Mac Jones – forget New England because he just came from there. If he were to sign in Minnesota next offseason, he's not starting over J.J. McCarthy.
No.
It's just the plan. Right or wrong, you got to pot commit to the quarterback. And we had the people calling in, and maybe they're the ones wishing we were the Atlanta Falcons, and they might be. You got to think about the succession plan. Is it too early to draft a quarterback? Well, yes. In the case of Atlanta, man, they signed a 36-year-old Kirk Cousins, who's never played for them, coming off a torn Achilles. A lot different circumstance. And he's played well in recent years. There's no question about it. I understand them putting a succession plan in place a lot more. I mean, for all the craziness surrounding that pick of Michael Penix Jr., imagine if the Jags had done that at 17 or 23?
Sure. You know, you can throw Denver kind of in that mix with Nick, Stidham, Wilson, you know, to some degree.
But Nix is the guy.
Yeah, Nix is going to be the guy.
Nix is the plan.
Right. The Raiders, as we mentioned, I'm looking at an article about this. Minnesota with McCarthy versus
and
Darnold.
Darnold, yeah.
You know, New England, as we already mentioned, the Giants. They have Daniel Jones versus Drew Lock. That one does feel like if you were going to go somewhere and have a chance to win a job, maybe even next year, that would be a spot that might be open.
Possibly.
You know, to that kind of thing.
Well, not many. Not many.
Right?
So that may be, as if you can get one of those Minshew deals.
Right, and the only other team they mentioned that we haven't yet is Washington, and that job's not open.
But how does Mac Jones get that Minshew deal without rehabbing his image on the field, right? It's a little circular
that
issue.
Never happens.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So among those outcomes is I think he signs a couple-of-year deal to come back to Jacksonville.
It's certainly in play, I would think.
Right, I would think, to some degree, depending on how he fits in the quarterback room, supports Trevor Lawrence, all those things this year. We got Greg in Georgia wants to get in with a little post-draft talk, it looks like. Greg, good morning. You're on Jaguars Today.
Hello.
Hello.
So, I wish that you guys would, talk about the way the Rams do the draft, where they don't do the draft, and they just buy veterans.
Okay. Generally, a terrible approach to building a team. It worked 1 year. They caught lightning in a bottle, and it did work for the L.A. Rams. But, almost Seattle operates that way a little bit too. If you look over the last 20-ish years, they and the Rams probably have had the fewest first-round picks that they've actually exercised. But, they got a little bit lucky. Mm-hmm. That's the bottom line. It all fell into place, and they made a run, and they won the Super Bowl that they could have very easily lost. Remember, Aaron Donald doesn't get pressure on that last play where he gets Burrow. Jamar Chase is running wide open past Jalen Ramsey for a touchdown to win the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
So, why don't we talk about it? Because most people believe it's a bad long-term methodology for building a team.
And you can even they knew the idea was we're going all in now, right? This is the moment we're trying to open up a championship window that may be 2 years, right? That's what it felt like the Rams were doing, and they felt like they had it built up enough that we can take that kind of chance now. So they did. They go and make the move to go get Stafford, and it paid for them. They wind up winning the Super Bowl.
Traded for Ramsey.
Right. They do all the things that they did. But you look at the Rams team that they had last year. Puka Nacua, 5th-round pick. Cooper Kupp, that's a third-round pick. Kyron Williams, that's a 5th-round pick, right? That's the juice they had on offense, was that, right? And that is what they got in the draft. And it does feel like the Rams kind of figured out they still got Stafford, right? So they're still getting dividends off of having made that move to go get Stafford. But it's not that they're ignoring the draft right now. They're getting juice out of the draft that they have had in recent years.
And how do they get Stafford? It's not exactly the same, but it's not like they went out in free agency. They traded their former, was Goff number 1 overall or 2? He was 1 and Wentz was 2, right? They traded their former number 1 overall draft pick to Detroit, who, by the way, now is thriving with that guy. It's weird, right? They switched quarterbacks, but it was a number 1 pick in the draft investment for both of those franchises.
Yeah.
So
and 3 of their 5 starting offensive linemen are guys that they either drafted or signed as undrafted free agents. They're not ignoring the draft right now. There was a time where they went hard after it because they felt like the window was open and it's open now, and so we're going to do whatever we got. We'll pay the price, right? Whatever that price is going to be, we're willing to pay it right now. Do Jaguars fans feel like the window is now? I feel like there's a potential window that's open for him to win a championship, but I don't feel like it's so imminent that it's like if we don't do it now, we can't do it. And that's what it felt like with the Rams.
I'd have no problem if the Jags pushed a little harder this offseason.
Not at all.
They're counting a lot on Ronald Darby to be that guy. I think there's still corners out there available I'd like to see come in for competition. If you've got cap space, I'd like them. Now, again, part of their plan for the offseason is how they're going to allocate that cap space and how it's going to be impacted by any potential long-term extension for Trevor Lawrence. But as a general rule, what the Rams do is frowned upon. And it worked. But you can't point to the exception and go, see, that's a good plan. Well, what about all the other years? And generally, the NFL's a draft and develop league. You got to get a little lucky on the quarterback. And once you have him, then you can, you still need a core to have in place. The Chiefs drafted Kelsey. They drafted Chris Jones, right? And they drafted Mahomes. And those are the 3 irreplaceable pieces. They drafted L'Jarius Sneed, who was great for him. And they couldn't afford to keep him, basically. And so, when you've got a great quarterback, it can make up for a lot of flaws.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking at the Rams depth chart right now over on our lads, and by my count, 5 of their projected starting 22 they didn't draft or sign out of
17
college.
out of 22.
Right. Like it's not like they're ignoring trying to develop that way. You have to. It's that they hit it so big when they got Stafford and Ramsey. You know, there's no arguing with that. They did. And good for them for having done it. And I'm with you. I wouldn't have a problem with the Jags being more aggressive when going after it, but there's a price to be paid on the back end of it eventually.
Absolutely. Right. You want the goal
the
is
Saints did it too. They haven't won anything.
Right. You want to reach a level and maintain it for a while.
Yeah. It's different ways to do it. The Rams did it that way, and so everyone's like, well, that's one way. It's one way to win, but it's not the only way. Kansas City, are they doing it that way?
No.
And they're going to do it for a decade. Right? The Rams won their one. That's
you
cute.
still have to go sign free agents. I mean,
Right.
the Rams or the Chiefs signed Juwan Taylor last year, and the Jags got a third-round pick out of it.
They don't ignore doing the other, but the juice of their team is from their drafting.
No doubt.
Right? And that's the way that you win long term. That's the way that you win in the league.
Hey, look, the Jags made that massive push in 2017 with a great free agency class, and they made a run
Absolutely.
to the AFC Championship game, and then it blew up.
Fizzled. Yep.
Not all because some of those guys were good for multiple seasons here, but
it's not because it was free agents they brought in. It just, that team, the juice was gone.
Yeah. So, look, had they done like a pick swap with the Niners and gone after Ayuk instead of Brian Thomas and addressed something else with that 31st pick, if they were able to pull something like that
All
off,
good
fine.
with it, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we got to take a time out here. If you're on the line, stay there. Getting a little behind, so we'll come back, try to get a few more of your calls in, but also continue the countdown of the 5 positions that we feel the best about currently on this Jaguar roster. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
1010XL, Jaguars Today Tuesday.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios. Brought to you by Dream Finders Homes, official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, what is this? I think it's a treasure map.
No kidding?
I'm not imagining this, right?
Then I bet this map tells you where it's buried.
Tells you where what's buried.
1010XL.
Imagine a complete one-stop shop for all your company's technology needs. A Jacksonville business who keeps their customer service local, so you never get outsourced to a distant call center. When your company is ready for faster support for managed IT services, voice-over IP phone systems, or access control, discover why so many business owners select Total Business Systems. Call 604-6900, 604-6900, or jacksitexperts.com.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Hey, sports fans, it's Ace Carline for Kingfish Pest Control. Are mosquitoes turning your outdoor fun into a full contact sport? Time to call in Kingfish Pest Control. I can tell you from my own experience, they are the MVPs of mosquito elimination. See for yourself. Call Kingfish Pest Control today and get an unbeatable 50% off your first treatment. That's right, sign up for a full season of lockdown coverage and get 50% off your first treatment. Don't let mosquitoes steal your home field advantage. Reclaim your yard with Kingfish Pest Control.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph is such a beautiful ride. But, Greg, you're telling me that there's a price point that's going to invite even more potential buyers.
There is. There's 2 new models, both of them under $6,000, one of them under $5,000. Great motorcycle, same Triumph quality and design. You got to come see it.
And it still is that big bike underneath you.
It is. It's a good-looking bike and all Triumph.
You can log on, cyclesofjacksonville.com, or visit the showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees.
call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Splish, splash, I'm taking up.
Everything okay in here?
Oh, yeah, sure is.
You're wearing a life jacket.
Sure am.
In the tub?
Practicing for when we head to the lake. I read about wearing one at wearitflorida.com.
And wearitflorida.com told you to wear it in the tub?
No, that was my idea. You know, Florida is the leader in boating fatalities, so a life jacket can save lives.
As you were.
Splish, splash, I was taking a
Learn
bath.
more at wearitflorida.com.
Mortgage rates have lowered going into this spring selling season. Have you had problems selling your home in the past? Are you looking for a promise, a solution? I'm here to give it for you. It's Chad and Sandy and chadandsandy.com, the real estate experts I trust and recommend with the sale of your home, or mine for that matter. Maybe you want maximum equity, or perhaps you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades. Chad and Sandy deliver this simple promise. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. You have literally nothing to lose. Take Pete in Lakeshore. I was in a pickle. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called because I needed to cash out on a rental property fast. I was struggling to rent it. I called Chad and Sandy, and I got an offer for full asking price within days. These guys made it easy and delivered big-time results. Call the agents I trust and recommend to sell your home. Chad and Sandy, they guarantee to sell your home or they will buy it. Find out more at chadandsandy.com or call 414-6200.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
Corona's the cold one you're craving all spring and all summer. Celebrate the season from Cinco de Mayo on, always refreshing, always hitting the spot. And with Corona Premier, it's only 90 calories and pairs perfectly with almost any appetite or adventure. It's easy to enjoy the summer sun when you know you're reaching for a cold Corona is only a cooler away. Find it at your local grocer or convenience store. Corona Premier. Light and refreshing, perfect for any day or night under the sun.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Jacksonville Hearing and Balance Institute. Some midweek matchups for collegiate baseball start with the Florida Gators, who welcome the USF Bulls tonight at home in the Condren Family Ballpark. The Gators attempt to bounce back from their series loss against Tennessee. The Gators lead the overall series with the Bulls 24-5. First pitch at 6:30. The UNF Ospreys head down south to finish out its season series against the UCF Knights tonight in Orlando. Game time's at 6 o'clock. The Knights are fresh off a perfect 3-0 week. Their starting pitcher tonight will be Wiley Hartley against UNF starting pitcher Brett Dennis. JU Dolphins hit the road to verse the FSU Seminoles over in Tallahassee tonight. The Seminoles lead the last 10 matchups between the two 7-3. The Dolphins are looking for redemption after the Seminoles defeated them in April 5-3. First pitch at 6 p.m. It's 84 degrees at 11 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, we continue. We move into hour number 2 here on Jaguars Today. This morning, our Chad and Sandy real estate question today is asking you which 5 positions on the Jaguars roster do you feel the best about as things stand at the moment. We'll continue the countdown coming up here shortly. Let's get back out to the phones, Tony and Dylan, with Keith in St. Augustine next up. Good morning, Keith.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Doing all right. What's on your mind?
All right. Hey, listen, I was listening to you guys earlier about the special teams, right? And the weight of it, right? The weight of it.
Mm-hmm.
I I maybe need some explanation about the way I understand the rules. But, one guy we got from the Ravens, that really good kick returner, right?
Yes.
Special teams, right?
Yes.
So educate me and let's talk about it. Is it the rule that they kick the ball and no one moves until the returner touches it?
Correct.
Or it hits the ground.
Or it hits the ground, right.
So the stop to start is like so important. Oh my God, not Randall Hill. Don't even right. Anyways, but hey, how about our Ravens guy, right? So special teams might be it could be something that gives us a good advantage next year. So I'm very optimistic. I think that was a good free agent pickup.
Oh, I think it was a great one. Thank you, Keith. Look, I would have been fine with Jamal Agnew coming back as well, but Duvernay is
thrilled,
all pro at this. And yes, look, to be clear, again, we are not saying special teams is not important. And that return aspect on kickoffs will become even more important, how you do it and how you cover it this year, because these players aren't used to doing it. These coaching staffs aren't used to designing for it.
Yeah, it's been turned into a play again. It hadn't been for a long time. It is again.
Be one of the half dozen teams that has a clear advantage on this.
Figure
right?
out however
Figure it
to
out.
Do that, yeah.
And I hope they're spending a ton of time doing just that. And that's why, in part, they invest in another return man in Keelan Robinson, or at least another potential return man, because going to be a lot of thought that you're going to have two guys out there. They're not going to get a running start, kind of like they're used to. Maybe you can get a couple of steps running under the ball, but either way, you draft a kicker. That the emphasis now is not as much on having the leg to boot it through the back of the end zone, because it's more penalizing. Although somebody brought this up the other day. Was it on the air tone? Maybe it was on the text line. And they wondered, would there just be some teams that go, screw it, let them start at the 30?
Yeah, I think that was Tommy on Friday.
Was it Tom who said that? Okay.
Who brought
Good thought,
up.
McManus.
At least it's kind of like that may be one way.
Maybe they
teams
do.
Deal with it. And that may be eventually what they decide to do with it. It's not how the XFL has done it, but that may be because it's the XFL and they may not have kickers that get it there.
If you get burned a couple of times on big returns, they may just be like, look,
no doubt,
start them at the 30. Right? I mean, they're starting at the 25 anyway. The offenses are so good. 2 passes, you're in field goal range.
Yeah.
But, if you're getting that return out to the 45-yard line.
And I do think whatever advantage can be gained from having a guy that is as talented doing that as Duvernay is, we'll see what that exactly looks like. I think the rule change, as I've talked about, what it puts in play is Tyreek Hill can return kicks now. And even from a Jaguars perspective, if he could catch a kick, they can put ETN back there without having to risk too much by having him back there. It's the injury risk to be a kick returner goes way down with the way that now it's just running an NFL play.
Yeah.
Right? That's the idea, is we're not going to have the collisions with both guys are running absolutely full force with momentum into one another. That's where these injuries happen. You're not going to have that happening from a guy that's getting that 60-yard sprint into a kicker that's barely moved. Right? That was the danger with kickoffs forever. That doesn't really exist with this new rule. So it's a lot more safe to return kicks than it has been ever in the NFL. It's not that way with punts. They still got to figure that out with, Duvernay is going to be the punt returner for this football team. But a kick returner, I think ETN would be fine, right? Returning kicks for him if he could catch a kick. It opens up the options for what you can do at kick returner. Not that having a guy like Duvernay, who is an all-pro level return man, hurts you, being able to be back there and doing that for you.
Yeah, and he's going to do both kicks and punts. And
absolutely.
You'll have another guy, maybe Robinson. Well, maybe not. If Robinson doesn't prove to be that next guy, got to have a hard time making this 53-man roster.
Oh, yeah.
So that's his number one job. And, yes, again, important, but would you rather have Devin Duvernay or would you rather have, Gabe Davis, right? I mean, and Gabe Davis is like your third receiver. That's I'll probably try to find a guy who can return kicks for me. At least I'll be able to find him
unless he's
cheaper.
Special. Right? That's
right. We're not talking about Devin Hester now, even though he's been a Pro Bowler, man.
That's the Tyreek Hill comes back into returning kicks for Miami, because that dude, every time he gets the ball in his hands, is a menace.
Okay, but you can have, all right, if we're going to play that, special kick returner trumps Gabe Davis. What about special wide receiver? Well, it's not even close.
Not even close.
You're not going to say Devin Hester in his prime or Justin Jefferson? Who would you want? I'll take Jefferson all day.
Yes.
He's going to catch it 120 times.
Absolutely.
And, so I know you know that. I'm just still, at the high end, yes, some high-end kick returners can be more important than some middle-of-the-depth chart wide receivers, for sure. But overall, you see what teams invest and where they can find these guys.
Yeah. And the questions about how they're going to block and cover that up is still wide open. Right? Like that's
hopefully not to them. I
right?
really hope this is something that the Jags are not one of these teams chasing their tail trying to figure out the first month of the year.
I'm sure they got a plan. I don't know how good or bad that plan's going to wind up being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cam Little. Put some spin on it. A little English, baby.
That'd be fun.
Let's do it. All right. We got a lot to get to here. We got still got 3, 2, and 1 on the countdown. We got to go around the league. We'll do some of that when we return here in just a moment. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you, looking at the Tuesday top 5, the 5 positions currently on the Jags that we feel the best about today. You could submit yours on social media as well. We'll run through some of those before the hour is done. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's Jaguars Today Tuesday.
Brought to you by Dreamfinders Homes from the JOI Studios at 1010XL. JOI, where the pros go. 1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
Well, maybe I can do better than some over-the-hill burnout.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Watch your mouth. Maybe you ought to just take some early retirement right now.
Mornings on 1010XL.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
I knew how to change my driver's license. Now, so before I even walked in there, I was like, oh, God, this line is going to be really long. They're going to be mean. And then you wait for 9 hours, and they're like, what do you want, license? Wrong line! Get to the end of the next line!
Jim Brewer, The Survival with Laughter Tour, May 12th, 7 p.m., Florida Theater. Tickets on sale now at floridatheater.com or 904-355-2787.
Whether you're in need of a simple AC repair or it's time to upgrade your HVAC system, Duck Air Conditioning is here to help. Give us a call today to schedule an estimate, 904-862-6769, or online at duckac.com.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
American Electrical, Northeast Florida's highest-rated electricians, is hiring, and they're looking for people to train for careers. It's not just job training. They're giving you a license that no one can take away from you, training you for jobs that are always in demand and will offer you a peace of mind financially and for the future. Once you know a trade, you'll always be employable. All the details are at american-electrical.com, and with their American Electrical Academy, if you're selected, you'll learn the electrical trade absolutely free of charge. American Electrical Contractors, powered by professionalism.
Don't just watch the position, learn the position.
Denny Thompson is the quarterback whisperer, and he knows.
We invite you into the lab so that you can truly learn the quarterback position.
Friday mornings on The Drill, brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
Attention veterans, if you have a VA loan, you need to listen to this, especially if your current rate is higher than 6.5%. Now is the time to take advantage of the federal government's VA Streamlined Refinance Program. With my friends at Loan Pronto, you can. Go to loanpronto.com. Prosser here, and Loan Pronto has fixed rate APRs in the 5s. You can drop your rate now. Lower your payment with no income documentation and no appraisal. Do it at loanpronto.com. Their all-digital platform makes it easy. They can even cover your closing costs. If you need cash now, Loan Pronto can get you up to 100% of your home value. You can pay off all your credit cards or other debt and save as much as $1,000 a month. Call Loan Pronto now at 904-999-1508 or get a 30-second rate quote at loanpronto.com. Ask about streamlined VA loans, no income doc, and no appraisal. Loan Pronto, 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Mother's Day is right around the corner this year. Give your mother a gift that keeps on giving. How about a zero-resified kitchen? Hey, Hicken here. There's nothing my wife loves more than having Zero Res do a deep clean on the kitchen, towel and grout. She also loves the look and feel of the granite countertops after Zero Res cleans and seals them. They really pop. Right now, Zero Res offering $50 off towel and grout cleaning and $50 off granite countertops cleaned and sealed. Zero Res, man, you spell it forward. Zero Res, you spell it back. It's the right way to clean.
Ever buy a gym membership but don't ever use it? Who hasn't? ET here, sports fans, and instead, I send plants and flowers to people I love from Kuhn Flowers, home of the beautiful window display on Beach Boulevard. Now that's money well spent. Kuhn Flowers.
All right, guys, be a true grill master with the Sausage Dudes sausage and upgrade that cookout. The Sausage Dudes are guys from Jacksonville who use their family recipes to make better sausage with the best cuts of pork, carefully sourced spices, and natural casings. And the Sausage Dudes are mission-minded, supporting the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida. Try all 4 flavors because your cookout deserves better. Now available at all Publix stores in the frozen meat section. Head to Publix today and get your hands on the Sausage Dudes sausage.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. You've heard us talk about it. Window World, the #1 window replacement company in the USA, selling over 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years.
That's a lot of satisfied customers, and why J.D. Powers has awarded Window World Best in Customer Satisfaction 3 out of 4 years.
Window World stands behind their slogan, simply the best for less. With Window World, you get top quality windows at a price that leaves more of your money in your bank account, and you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement industry. When compared to our competition, there is none. See for yourself. Call the competition. Get quotes from them. But before you buy, get Window World's free estimate and compare the quality of the windows and the price.
You'll see.
And when your new Window World windows are installed and they're saving you money on your energy bills, if anything goes wrong with those windows, Window World and I will be there to make it right. That's my guarantee.
Call Window World today. Start saving money on your new windows and your energy bills, and take vacation with your savings. Window World, online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
I-9 Sports wants to make sure kids all over the First Coast can enjoy growing up on a field or in a gym. And right now, summer and fall registration is open. So make sure you find out what I-9 Sports offers in your area across Duval, Clay, and St. John's. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Jaguars Today
on 1010XL.
All right, we continue on Jaguars Today. We do have a lot to get to here, so why don't we not belabor it? The question of the day is out there for Chad and Sandy Real Estate as things stand. Which 5 positions on the Jags roster do you feel the best about? We are a little behind in the countdown, so let's pick up with number 3.
Number 3.
You see, Tony.
For me, it's running back. Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby, Dearness Johnson. Etienne, I didn't realize this till I was looking on his Pro Football Reference page today. He actually got a vote for Offensive Player of the Year last year. Last year, he got a vote for Offensive Player of the Year. I thought, obviously, he played at a Pro Bowl level that first year that he was on the field for him 2 years ago. I thought he was good.
You're saying in 2023, someone voted for Travis Etienne for Offensive Player of the Year.
He got 1 vote.
Well, that's stupid.
Whatever that was.
I mean, Travis, good player. Yeah. But my God.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously way behind, and it was 8th on the list, but he was the only guy who got the 1 vote, but they show you all that now. I didn't realize it till I was looking at it, but he did get a vote for that last year. I think Etienne is a...
Can you bring that up? Can you find it? Continue your thought.
Yeah, I think Etienne is a Pro Bowl level running back in this league. And I expect that Tank Bigsby is going to be much better this year than he was, especially the early part of last year. And I do think as a third down option that Dearness is great. Right? In that kind of role, I think he's great for the football team, so that's enough for running back to be third on that list. All
right,
me.
That's fine. He's got running back. Dylan, who do you have at 3?
I got receiver. You got a variety of, I guess, the age. You got a rookie, Brian Thomas. You got a guy that's been in the league for a couple of years, and Gabe Davis, and you have the veteran Christian Kirk, and then you can also throw in Devin Duvernay in that group as well. Exciting group that's probably expected to have a good year this year. You're giving Trevor Lawrence some extra help. Probably the best receiving group he's had since he's been in Jacksonville. I'm going to go receiver at number 3.
All right, wide receiver for you at number 3. Hard to believe that the way I felt last year that number 3 on my list is defensive end for this team. And, I feel better about it than quarterback. There's no real proven depth behind the defensive end position. Although Travis Gibson 2 years ago had a decent, an 8-sack season, but that's the anomaly so far on his career statistics. But the top 2 guys, Josh Allen's the best player on the team. I feel great about Josh Allen, right? Trayvon Walker took a massive step forward. As long as they're healthy, I feel phenomenal about the starters. Got to have some more rotational depth in there, Tony, but I think it's in terms of just the starters, at any position where you have multiple players, I think it's the best position on the team. Okay? Now, there are some positions, and we'll get into the specifics of how you break them down, that you might only have a single guy, but I think defensive end is, again, health provided, can be a strength for this team. If Travis Gibson can do anything. Look, I don't expect Miles Cole to give you anything right now, but every draft Nick I listen to, like Trevor Sycamore was on with Helmets and Heels yesterday, raving about Miles Cole. He's basically like, I forget how he phrased it. I'm going to say the gist was discount Trayvon Walker. In terms of the athleticism, right? 6'6", 279, he ran a 4.69 40. I'm excited about his potential.
Yeah.
Now, once upon a time, we were like, I can't wait to see your Sierra Abdullah out there. So I'm not counting on production. I'm just excited about the potential, and I can roll that in. So I got defensive end sitting at number 3. All right, we'll get to number 2 here in a second. Did you have the
I got the Offensive Player of the Year voting.
All right, let's go. Let's go top to bottom.
All right.
Who got votes?
McCaffrey,
Okay.
222 points on the vote, 39 first-place votes.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, 139.
Sure.
7 first-place votes. CeeDee Lamb, third with 45 points, 1 first-place vote. Lamar Jackson, 32 points, 2 first-place votes. Dak Prescott, 5 points.
Phenomenal statistical season last year.
Josh Allen, Buffalo, 3 points.
Okay, he always puts up crazy numbers.
Yep. Brock Purdy, 3 points at 7. Travis Etienne. Outside of McCaffrey, he's the only other running back that got a vote.
You tell me. I mean, like, in all seriousness now, I like Etienne. He averaged 3.8 yards a carry, had barely 1,000 yards, and what did he score, 11 rushing touchdowns?
Yeah.
How's Raheem Mostert not have a better case after scoring 21 times for the Miami Dolphins last year, right? I don't know. It's just strange to me.
It caught me off guard, too. I was like, he did what?
He got a vote for Player of the Year?
Offensive Player of the Year, yeah.
Yeah, last year, Mostert had 4 more rushing yards than Etienne, 1 more yard per carry. So Etienne needed 60 more carries to basically match him. He did have half the receptions, so Travis Etienne more impactful in the receiving game, but total touchdowns 21 for Raheem Mostert.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have voted for him for Offensive Player of the Year either, but
No.
I could have more justified that. Anyway, let's go around the rest of the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Houston owner Cal McNair said on Monday at a charity golf tournament that wide receiver Tank Dell is expected to make a full recovery, added that he will be going through rehab after he was shot last month at the Cabana Live in Sanford, Florida. The Buffalo Bills have signed former Jaguars defensive lineman DeJuan Smoot to a 1-year deal. Recently released Jaguars wide receiver Zay Jones met with the Tennessee Titans on Monday. The LA Chargers announced they're signing a former Jaguars second-round pick wide receiver DJ Chark Monday. The Chargers are also hosting wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling for a visit today. Jaguars 2021 fourth-round pick linebacker Jordan Smith, who appeared in just 2 games here during his rookie year, has been signed to a futures contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. 2015 first-round pick and 3-time Pro Bowl offensive guard Andrus Peat is signing with the Las Vegas Raiders after spending the first 9 years of his career with New Orleans, and the Carolina Panthers are signing running back Rashad Penny. Penny was a first-round pick by Seattle in 2018, where he played 5 years before signing for a season with Philadelphia last year, where he had just 11 carries on the year.
Yeah, Dave Canales, the new head coach, was with him in Seattle for, I think, the entirety of his Seattle tenure up there. So that, coaches have favorites too, right? This is what I know I can expect from this guy in this role, and let's bring him in and see if he can continue to do that for us at this point in time. We heard the news yesterday. Zay Jones was visiting with the Titans.
Mhm.
Did they just, after spending $23 million a year, go, oh, damn, we do need somebody to tell Ridley what the play is? Is that
something?
I mean, is it that simple? Like, hey, Calvin, how'd you know you're on the same page with Trevor? Well, I turn to Zay and go, what route am I running? Is that what we're doing up there in Nashville? I'm hoping. Anyway, Zay, we'll turn on you quick, buddy. That's look, I don't begrudge you if they're putting money in front of you, but don't mean I have to be happy about it. All right, let's get back into the countdown here with the next.
Number 2.
Dylan.
I'm going to go quarterback Trevor Lawrence in the group. I mean, it's obviously Trevor. It's hard to judge a quarterback when you look at what he did last year and did 2 years ago. I judge people based on what they are in the middle. Like, I don't judge people on how great you are, and I don't judge how bad you are. You are what you are in the middle. And Trevor Lawrence in the middle, regardless of what you think he is, he gives you a chance to win every single game. And obviously the first 3 years, you have some ups and downs, and I think you learn from that. And this year, I think he is going to do well. Like I said, with the receiver group at number 3 for me, you have the most weapons around you, including Evan Ingram and Travis Etienne. I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence, number 2.
All right, there you go. Trevor Lawrence, quarterback position. You do have a better depth chart now. I had him in at number 4. Number 2 for me, Tony, you had inside linebacker at number 5, I think?
I did.
I have middle linebacker. Because I'm thinking of this team now, in my mind, it's a 4-3.
Yeah.
Okay? And, yeah, we're multiple. Okay, buzzword. Everyone's multiple. Boy, Lewican, what more do you want? I mean, he leads the league in tackles.
As an inside linebacker, he's as good as there is in the league.
He's smart.
Yeah.
He gets everybody else in good position. He makes plays. He doesn't make all the spectacular plays, but he is so damn consistent at what he does. And I just feel like
that pick six against New Orleans,
phenomenal, right? I mean, but you don't think of what is Foy? He's not a splash play. He's a guy that he's going to plug that hole and bring that ball carrier down just every time, and he's going to do it a lot. He's going to do it moving towards the line of scrimmage more often than not. If they need to play without Foye, I think they could get by, depending on for how long. Obviously, there's going to be a fall off if you're putting Muma in there or whomever you're putting in there. But I think they have enough options that they'd be okay, for a short period of time. Look, I feel fourth strongest about quarterback, third strongest about defensive end. You lose your starters at those positions, I'm not going to feel great either. So this is more a reflection of how good Foye is as an individual player, and that there's only one spot. Like, why middle linebacker for me over defensive end? Well, because I don't think Trayvon Walker's on the Foye level. He's coming. Josh Allen is. Josh Allen's on a higher level right now. Either way, they're so close. Got D-end at 3, got middle linebacker specifically at 2. Who do you have at 2?
2, I got quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, C.J. Beathard being the depth chart right now for all the reasons we've talked about when it's been brought up throughout the show. I saw an article where the Dallas Cowboys have expressed their faith, again, that they can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. And I thought about how much has the confidence of Jaguars fans who thought that was what was going to happen, right? When they drafted Trevor Lawrence, they won the sweepstakes from the moment they knew that was going to be their pick that year. Was how many Super Bowls do we think this guy can win?
Now, can we win?
Right. For Jacksonville. And I do wonder among the fans how much has that confidence been shaken. For me, not all that much. Like, I'm still about as confident as I was when they wound up landing him in the draft that year. But I can understand, we hear from him every day here on the show, that there are people who don't share that confidence when it comes to Trevor Lawrence. I was tempted to put quarterback at 1 on this list. That's how confident I am in Trevor Lawrence in this kind of arena. I think we might all have the same number 1 when everything is said and done. But I did wind up putting it at number 2. I got Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, now I'm wondering, who did I overlook that we don't all have the same number 1 at number 1, because I don't think we will. But either way, the reason I thought about him higher on the list too.
Sure.
But I think if you look at Trevor among quarterbacks compared to like Foye among middle linebackers, Josh Allen among defensive ends, those guys are better at their position right now.
Sure.
And I agree with you, though, that I still have the confidence that he has the ability to lead them to a championship or maybe even a couple. But there's so many things that go into it, around it. You know what I mean?
No
Like
doubt.
last year, man, I could have been that year, right? You get in the postseason, and maybe you get on that run, right? I mean, heck, if you can come back from 27-0 down, you can certainly win a few games in a row.
He's got that in him.
Right?
Yeah.
But that was a squandered opportunity. Nothing's promised to you, man. I mean, you maybe they come steamrolling in the playoffs this year, and they get a key guy or two hurt in week 17 or 18. It just you just don't know. All right, so you got quarterback at 2. We'll unveil our number 1 in the countdown when we return and wrap things up today, and take a look at some of your submissions today and seeing which positions you, as the Jaguar fandom, have the most confidence in terms of what they've been able to put together on this roster at the moment. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark here with you. Keep it right here on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, Dandy Sandwiches, Dandy Subs. You know what? I probably could have used one as I was sweating away, changing my tire this morning. But, the great thing is I can swing right into a gate station and know they're going to have a wonderful selection for me whenever I'm driving around. Hopefully you're having better success getting around the roads than I did this morning. But, look, maybe you just need a little time off the street. You pull in, get a little gas, take in a little air conditioning, head to the Fresh Case, and look what Dandy is offering up. The Thompson family started the Dandy Company in Jacksonville over 65 years ago, and they continue to thrive. I was a Dandy customer a long time before I talked about them on the radio, and I continue to believe in them because they continue to put out the highest quality products. Quality ingredients, made fresh, delivered fresh, great variety, great prices. That's the Dandy formula, and they stick to it, and they dominate. If you're hungry in Duval, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy. And do it today.
It's a Jaguars Today Tuesday on 1010XL.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
Brought to you by Dreamfinders Homes. Voice of the PGA Tour.
Joe Coward.
National College Football writer.
Matt Hayes.
Pro Bowl offensive lineman.
Leon Searcy.
There, XL Prime Time.
Dream Team, baby.
Dream Team. Dream Team. Afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
Why Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned? I'll tell you why. Over 600 vehicles in stock. One location. Check this out. More than 275 SUVs, over 200 cars, over 110 pickups. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18,000. Plus, you get 60 days to love your purchase or exchange it, and Arlington's Credit for Everyone program. Oh, and did I mention? The Summer Starts Here sales event is going on right now, even on used. Shop 10939 at Langston Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjax.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Attention real estate agents, loan officers, and mortgage professionals. Trust your real estate closings to the expertise of St. John's Title, LLC. As a board-certified attorney-owned and operated firm with years of experience, St. John's Title provides the utmost of precision and professionalism. With conveniently located offices and in-home remote closing options, our customer-first approach ensures a seamless process tailored to your timeline. Join our team of experts and 5-star testimonials from customers across the First Coast. Choose St. John's Title.
Hacker here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. You know, for a long time, I heard Mike Dempsey and Matt Hayes talking about Awaken 180. Now, I have tried a lot of weight loss programs in the past, and when I heard them talking about Awaken 180, I said, you know what? What the heck? Let me give another one a try. The best decision I have ever made when it comes to my weight loss. I got on Awaken 180 on February 20th, and since that point, I'm down almost 60 pounds. 60 pounds in well under 3 months, thanks to the good folks at Awaken 180 Weight Loss. The best weight loss program I have ever been on. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800. Take it from me. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Awaken 180 weight loss.
There are so many ways you can catch me, Mia O'Brien.
Helmets and Heels.
Weekdays, noon to 2.
And on 1010XL's video and social channels. All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
It's Mo Time with Mo Bryan.
On 1010XL.
Surf in the Summer Surf Camp is now registering for camps this summer. Get your kids out to the beach this summer. For registration and session dates, log on to surfinthesummer.com. Surf in the Summer, Jacksonville Beach's premier surf camp.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
The Guardian calls it a comedy with a thrust of a well-tuned engine. Chicago Theater called it a whirlwind of mayhem, and the New York Times said it has no right to be this funny. The Alhambra Theater presents Boeing. Set in the 60s, tells the story of a ladies' man pilot and the 3 women who believe they are engaged to him. Sure to sell out? Get your tickets at alhambrajacks.com. alhambrajacks.com.
Mia here. Are you tired of battling pollen this spring? May is one of the worst months for us. Window Gang will pressure wash all that pollen and grime on your driveways, pool decks, windows, and more. They also have a process gentle enough to clean your screen enclosures. Pollen can even cause buildup that clogs gutters. Window Gang will have your gutters flowing freely again. Listen, I saw the difference after they came out to my house. Call 262-7300 to schedule your free estimate. 262-7300.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, an avocado consultant from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Dave Ortega. Okay, Dave, here's your question. Your house is not bad in the morning, but by the afternoon, your AC can barely keep up, even with the curtains closed. What do you do?
Can I buy a valve?
Not that kind of show, Dave.
Can I spin the wheel?
Yeah, we don't even have a wheel, Dave.
Can I phone a friend? Can I call Bueller?
That's right, Dave. Call Bueller Air and Plumbing to assess your home's airflow and sunlight patterns and let us optimize your air conditioning so that you are cool.
This is the happiest day of my life.
Well, you gotta get out more, Dave.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
At one point last week, Tony, I was told the schedule will come out on Thursday of this week. Told that. Then, I don't know, maybe not.
Sounds like next week.
Sounds like, it's not coming out Thursday. Regardless of whether it's next week or the week after, it does sound like there have been some delays in it. But
do y'all get excited about that?
It's good for a day's content on the show. We know when they're playing, but there's still something going through. The coaches break it into months. Wow, I do like it. I mean, I'm not it's not like Christmas morning or anything like
draft.
That. I don't have to watch a schedule reveal show. Yeah. Put it that way. I'm content when they announce all the ones. Okay, there it is. I don't need to see it live, so I'm not on the edge of my seat, but I am interested.
Yeah, I did read the America's Game, which is about the history of the NFL, obviously. And one of the most interesting chapters in the book to me was about early on in league history, how the schedules got made, right? And, Bert Bell is basically sitting there putting cards on a table, right? No one touches the table. Everyone leave my table alone. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with all this. And he's dealing with the politicking from all the owners across the league.
Right. Don't want to play on this week or got to be at home this week.
Constantly having to deal with that struggle. And eventually he's just like, I just want to be done with this. Like, give it to somebody else to have to handle this job. So it did. I'd never thought about the complications of trying to put together an NFL schedule. What that would look like. And it's even more so now. You got 32 teams. You got to figure out they're all going to play 6 divisional games. You know who they're playing, but when they're playing them and in what order. And
when is their stadium available?
Right.
Like, there are other things that happen in those stadiums.
It complicates all these things. I would think that the process is streamlined enough now that you would think year to year, mostly you're just filling it in, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have whatever its complications are going to be on a year-to-year basis, right? Like those kinds of things. And that, look, they use May. The big event in May is they're going to release the schedule. So everyone's like, well, we're a week into May. Come on. Like, where is it? Like, it does feel like that's where NFL fans are. Just give me the food, right? Like, that's how NFL fans feel. It is more complicated than that. At least I hope it'll be.
It is,
week.
And Pro Football Talk is speculating that because they made a kind of a late announcement that we'd have games on Christmas, even though it's in the middle of the week. That may have been the complicating factor.
Got to get whoever's doing that. Yeah.
Who knows? But when it comes, guess what? We'll go through it. We'll go game by game. We'll be hideously wrong about our predictions.
I certainly will.
But we'll do it, and it is fun. I do like to look at, oh, man, that first month is we got to take advantage of it. Oh, damn, man, if we can survive that first month, right? I mean, that kind of thing. It's it doesn't always play out the way you think it's going to, but
no.
You kidding me? We talked about the draft for months and months and months, when we actually have something tangible. Yeah, that gets me a little bit excited at least. All right, let's get to number one in the countdown here.
Number one.
All right, where are we at? Who is it, me or is it? I don't know. I'll go. I'll give you my 5, 4, 3, 2. These are the positions we feel best about currently for the Jacksonville Jaguars. At 5, I had wide receiver. At 4, I had quarterback. At 3, I had defensive end. At 2, I had middle linebacker, assuming we're playing a 4-3 more. Mm-hmm. And at 1, and I know what because we talked about it on the break, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I know what you're thinking. I might have had at 1, but you had offensive tackle
at 5.
I just put it down to left tackle. You could do either way, right? Because I think a lot of these guys are kind of interchangeable. Certainly, I think Anton Harrison and Walker Little could play on either side. We suspect Cam could play on the right side, but if he's your starting left tackle, why would you ever do that?
Yeah.
But I do think they're 4 deep tone. They have one guy who's probably their best lineman currently in Cam Robinson, who has a lot of edge. They have another guy who we're actually very excited about for his long-term future and played well as a rookie in Anton Harrison. You have a third guy who I think a lot of teams in the league would love to have a player of his caliber as their swing tackle, able to plug in and Walker Little. And you've got the first-team All-SEC left tackle as your rookie developmental project there. It's pretty good. I'm not saying Cam, there are better individual players on this team than Cam Robinson. But you got Cam, and you got all these other guys who could play, and I don't think the fall-off would be tragic. Now, there's a reason Cam does bring a little attitude and all that, and that's why we like him. We think he's a good fit and all that. And you do lose something when he's not on the field. But in terms of ability, physical ability, I think they got a lot of options at that spot.
Sure.
It's not the best in terms of the starter, but it's the best in total to me. So you have what?
I have inside linebacker at 5, offensive tackle at 4. I didn't specifically put 1, but it's the same 4 names that you just mentioned there.
Mm-hmm.
Running back at 3, and then quarterback at 2. Number 1 for me is defensive tackle. Eric Armstead, Roy Robertson Harris, Devon Hamilton, Mason Smith, Adam Gotsis, Jordan Jefferson, Tyler Lacey, Jeremiah Ledbetter. I think they have 8 guys on that depth chart that if any of them are asked to play snaps, they're fine, right? I think Eric Armstead is a really, really good player, and I do think he changes the dynamic of what they have on that defensive line to have somebody that can give them the kind of push that Eric Armstead can give them in the middle of that line. I think it helps Robertson Harris. I think it potentially helps Devon Hamilton, and I certainly think it helps the 2 ends in this Jaguars defense. And for all those reasons, because I did, looking at it, was like, wow, they're like 7-8 deep, right, at that specific spot. That's why it got to number 1 on the list for me.
Okay, Dylan?
Number 5, I had tight ends, 4 safety, 3 wide receiver, 2 quarterbacks. Number 1, Okay, on the website I had outside linebacker, but now we're switching to the defense, so it's probably going to be D-end, I guess, so to speak. Trayvon Walker, Josh Allen, that position group.
That group.
Yes. That's not my number one for me just because of the production they had last year, and I think they're going to do it again this year. And kind of what Tony was just saying with the D tackle, when you have a defensive line that is deep and where an offensive line can't just focus on one person. So, if it's defensive end, you could double team, you could chip with the tight end. But now this year, unlike last year, it seems like you're going to have more help on the interior defensive line. I couldn't put D tackle in my top 5 just because Eric Armstead's missed so much time. Mason Smith, you really don't know. And the other guys, yes, they're good. But if those guys can play well, that makes everybody else's job with the defensive line so much better on the outside and can give you one-on-ones. Or if you want to do vice versa and give so much attention to Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker, then the guys in the interior are going to have it one-on-ones in the middle. So that was my number one, outside linebacker / DN.
I think collectively defensive line could be the strength of this football team, but the reason I didn't have defensive tackle in my top 5 is I don't even know who the second starter is going to be. I know you think it'll be Roy Robertson-Harris, maybe. They paid Devon Hamilton like he was going to be. Which Devon Hamilton are we going to get? Which Roy Robertson-Harris are we going to get?
Right, and it could be, I get it, it could be Jefferson because that guy could be more of a nose.
And and he's a 4th-round rookie who, granted, like I had wide receiver at number 5, but I expect more of Brian Thomas than I do of Jordan Jefferson, at least early. If I'd gone 3 technique, I might have found a way to get it in there with Armstead, because I think Mason Smith will be the primary guy behind there, and I think that could be a strength of the team. I don't have an issue with you putting it in there at all. It's just, for me, I thought about it. I'm like, there is some depth there, but who is that other guy? And when I look at, like, DN, they don't have the depth, but those top 2 guys are so good right now.
Top 2 guys are really good.
So, all right, well, there you go. So we didn't all have the same exact thing. We had a lot of overlap, as you're going to do in something like this. Let's see. Some of the groups I'll run through here, submitted on social media. Quarterback, wide receiver, D tackle, safety, and tight end. Left tackle, outside linebacker. See, I think they're thinking of the edge guys, like we're just talking about, right? They're thinking Allen and Walker, and that's fine. Yeah. Wide receiver, punter, and quarterback.
I wish the NFL would just officially make that designation.
Edge player.
Right. Yeah. And not have to fool around with how do we classify this guy. I
get Fantasy football finally did it,
right,
basically.
I get it inside the building, right? If they're looking at it saying, they may not say he's an edge. They might say this is our defensive end or our outside linebacker, that kind of thing. But from just to make it simple for everybody else, can we just call him an edge?
Right on. Let's see. Other ones we've got here, quarterback, right tackle, slot receiver, left defensive end, right defensive end. I like that. They really broke it down to positions. I mentioned earlier I didn't do that with defensive end because they will flip-flop sides from time to time.
Yeah.
But, right defensive end might be – I don't know how you don't feel the best if you're talking about what Josh Allen will provide him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's your list. Quarterback, edge, right tackle, wide receiver, inside linebacker for Cristiano. Quarterback, receiver, running back, defensive line, offensive line. That's the one I said, position groups, not positions on that. Punter or returner would be in here, but I felt like ranking regular positions, said Chad. See? Defensive tackle, quarterback, O-tackle, tight end, wide receiver. I'll see if there's any, whatever they will call a Lewikins position. Yes, feel good about that too, Scott. Tight end, let Ferrell go Ferrell. Not bad. Luke going feral on him today. Running back, Tank takes a step forward. It's got to be something you can. If you're going to say Ferrell goes feral, shouldn't Tank roll forward into something along those lines? But all right, so kind of all around the same groups. We just made the conscious effort to leave specialists out. Somebody said can only think of 2. Well, you should have named them then. That's fine. Yeah. So you don't feel good about any position on this team other than 2 spots. Curious what they are. Maybe it's Foye and Josh.
Maybe.
I don't know. You don't feel. If we're going to break it down like that, slot receiver, pretty damn solid guy. Anyway, it is what it is. We've given you our 5s, and the Tuesday top 5 is in the books once again. Survived the tire changing experience. And hopefully the donut has a lot of air in it, man. My wife must have got it filled up recently because I don't really do a good job keeping track of all that kind of stuff sometimes. But all right, that'll do it for us today. I think we're efforting the Hammer to join us tomorrow, Hayes Carlyon, to give us some post-draft thoughts on the state of the Jaguars roster at this point in time. We'll start to turn our attention to the upcoming rookie minicamp as well in terms of what we'd like to hear, what kind of buzz we'd like to hear coming out of that. So for Tony Smith and Dylan Denmark, I am Mike Dempsey. We appreciate all of you listening today, calling into the program, what have you. So we'll do it all again tomorrow, same bat time. Coming up next is Helmets and Heels, so stick around right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today Tuesday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dream Finders Homes.
From